Hi all folks, this is Max from HiOnAndroid.com. So I've got battle out between my new iPad and my Galaxy Tab 10.1 since one of you guys asked for it. First of all, I don't think this is a fair review since the Galaxy Tab 10.1 came out June last year. It's been almost a year while the new iPad just came out, so it's not really a fair comparison. When the Galaxy Tab 10.1 came out, it had better resolution than iPad 2, 1280 by 800 over 1024 768 on the iPad 2. But I'll review it anyway, so keep that in mind. The next Tab should be better than the new iPad for sure. So let's first go over the hardware. What does it feel like? What does it feel like to hold the new iPad versus the Tab 10.1? The new iPad is actually a little bit thicker and heavier than the iPad 2. And also, one of the things that I really don't like about it is the really sharp edges. This is also on the transformer. I don't like it because if you use it for a long time, your hand hurts. Because it's very sharp. You know, you can use it as a weapon. Versus the Tab 10.1, I really like how they have the rounded corners. And you know, since I've probably used the Tab 10.1 first, if you get used to this, it gets really hard to use to the sharper edges, especially for typing in landscape, watching movies and stuff. So in that sense, I like the Tab 10.1 better. It's a little bit longer while it's a little bit shorter, but the actual screen is 10.1 inches versus 9.7 across. I think you get a better wide angle display versus I think a 4x3 here. And as far as the material, this is glass, this is Gorilla Glass. So if you drop your new iPad from waist high into cement, you probably need a new iPad, and don't let your kids play with it too much where there's a lot of concrete. And also the Tab 10.1 isn't glass, it's actually Gorilla Glass. It's a lot more durable. There's also you can look up tests on YouTube, and there's a bunch of videos that shows the Tab 10.1 is clearly better and durable than the iPad. The new iPad hasn't changed all that much except for the processor and the higher resolution. It is beautiful. It is a very good display. There are problems with it if you use too many high intensive graphics and you put it on super bright. It's gonna heat up. It's gonna heat up to about 85 degrees here. Here in San Francisco, it's about 70 degrees. My room temperature is 70 exactly right now. Which means if you live in a hot climate such as Philippines, Thailand, where the temperatures are average temperatures are 85 or even 95, your iPad could potentially heat up to over 100 degrees. Could be potentially dangerous for your kids to play with, and also your tab might explode because the battery gets hot, and also the new iPad wouldn't last as long. That's just based on, you know, facts here. Versus the Tab 10.1, we don't have any kind of defects like that. As far as the camera, I did a review with iPad 2 and the Tab 10.1 about 6 months ago when it came out, and it's much better than the iPad, and I would say the new one is also much better than the new iPad because this one has gel effects. This one, actually, the Samsung has really good photos also, so I don't think the new iPad's better in that area. I'll have another video of that because I'm using a custom ROM here that has no camera on it. I can't review it right now. So other than that, you'll find similar buttons. You get the power button on the left for the new iPad, and also you'll find the silent button. I'm not sure if that's useful, and volume rockers versus the power button and the volume rockers on the Tab 10.1. And also you'll find the dock power connector on the bottom for the Tab 10.1 versus on the portrait side for the new iPad. Although there's not really many docks for the Tab 10.1 that can actually take use of this adapter so you can listen to music. It has actually stereo speakers, but it is a better position, I think, and that's, you know, versus this way. And also the speakers is definitely better on the Tab 10.1, which is one of my complaints, because I don't use my headphones often, and I like to listen to music, or and browse the web, or watch Netflix movies. And the iPad 2 has it in a weird location, I think, because when you hold it in portrait, it's going to cover it up, muffle the sound a little bit. I guess it's okay, but it's still mono, and it's nothing compared to having a stereo sound left and right. And also in portrait mode, this is perfect because you don't cover the speakers. So speakers, I would say, are a definite consideration. If you're going to be using headphones all the time, that's fine. You don't have to worry about it. But I like the fact that it has stereo speakers. You know, it makes a big difference. So if you want to get the new iPad, it's $499 for the cheapest version, which I got. Also the Galaxy Tab 10.1. This is 16 gigabyte at Wi-Fi version at $450 right now. So I would just wait a couple of months, because I know the Tab 10.1 is going to drop in price when Galaxy Note 10.1 comes out. And plus, if you want to get a good Android tablet, I would wait for the Samsung one. Asus, the next Asus Transformer Prime, I'm not sure. I'm gonna maybe stick with Samsung devices. I think they're a lot easier to install custom ROMs, root it, customize it. Oh, and also let me show you some of the user experience. So with the new iPad, you get the same boring 3 screens or 2 screens, and you get the apps. So you don't have any widgets. Every time you want to check your email, you actually have to click on your Gmail thingy or GooglePlus. There you go. And versus ICS, Ice Cream Sandwich experience on the Tab 10.1 is pretty nice. So I've got my Gmail there. I can actually flip through, see all my mails inbox, and actually click on it. It will take me straight to Gmail. I don't have to open different apps. I can see my calendar, I see my Google Voice, and also I've got my Twitter, Facebook, and GooglePlus, which is really cool. And you can resize the widgets, which I showed you before. So from a productive point, as a if you're a social media whore, definitely the Galaxy Tab 10.0 is going to offer you more choices on what you can do, and I think it's a more productive device. Of course, I think this Tab 10.1 is a little bit outdated because it's going to be almost a year, so I wouldn't actually suggest you to get a Tab 10.1 right now, or at least the price drops another $100. Then it will be a good budget tablet that still can do everything. The power on both of these tablets are pretty powerful. Even though this one's only 1 GHz dual core from last year, NVIDIA Tegra 2 processor, it can run 99% of the programs fine. So the processor isn't big of a deal. Versus the new iPad, I haven't actually played one single game or app that actually made use of it, made a difference. So there comes to a point, if you don't have apps that can support the new processor, it's not going to be worth it. And in 6 months, I bet there are going to be more apps for this. But then on the other hand, there are going to be same Android tablets with even better resolution display, probably with more features. That's what's been happening last year, and it's going to happen again this year. So it's just the timing. If you really need a tablet right now, it's up to you. So a lot of people say that there's more apps on the iPad, the new iPad or the iPads. That's not necessarily true. There's some apps you can't even get on the iPad. For example, I showed you a video of this. You can get a bunch of keyboard apps to customize your Tab 10.1 versus the new iPad. The only way you can really do is have two settings: the full keyboard or the thumb out keyboard. Versus this one, you can change it into different keyboards. You can download keyboard apps. There's more better keyboard apps, and also you get apps like DSLR controller that can control my DSLR. So there's advantage to each one, but I wouldn't say iPad simply has better apps. Maybe more apps, and I find that a lot of the apps on the new iPad or iPads in general, you have to pay. There's a lot more free apps on the market, and also the Google Play store offers you a refund if you don't like the app. You can, I think you have 30 minutes or something. You can actually get a refund, so you're not always putting your money into the machine. So I like that about Android. And you know, anyway, I just pointed out some of the factors between the Galaxy Tab 10.1 from a view of a person who gets high on Android every day. Try to be unbiased as possible. Again, the new iPad does have a great display, but other than web browsing and the home screen, the actual apps are not there. So you might actually want to wait until the price drops on this and the apps are available to get the new iPad. Or I might just even wait for the iPad, the new iPad coming out next year, because I think they didn't really do a good job, and a lot of Apple fanboys also said this is not good enough for the improvements. So but the Tab 10.1 is a great device if you already have one. If you don't have one, I don't really suggest you get it at $450. Maybe at $400, $350. Wait a month or two. And also the new Samsung tabs are coming out. Tablets are coming out in just probably in June. So it's kind of a waste of money if you spend right now. So I would just wait on that. As for the Asus products, I'm staying away from it. Asus and Motorola until they can, you know, they can give a device that's, you know, they're not trying to all lock it up, and you know, even if they give you these tools, it sucks because now you can't return it for warranty. I wish they left it like Samsung, and Samsung makes good displays. I'm sure their new one is going to be better than the iPad, the new iPad, since they make the they essentially make the screen on the new iPad. So I'm not too worried about that. But anyway, that was just a short overview comparison. Sorry if I didn't do a good enough a job. I just went through some of the features and stuff. Kind of sick here still, so I'll try to get back to everybody once I feel alright. But anyway, thanks you guys. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, share this with your friends on Twitter, Facebook, or GooglePlus. And I'm gonna get really high on Android now. See y'all later. Oh, and also I forgot to point this out. The iPad, it is made in China by Chinese slave workers at Foxconn. You can see assembled in China. It's pretty much made in China. Versus the Tab 10.1 is made in Korea. So, you know, if you want to support Chinese slavery, get the iPad. Otherwise, get the Tab 10.1. Yeah.